Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll be diving into a good old-fashioned paracord bracelet. It's been a while since we've done one of those, so we'll be doing the Sanctified weave today. We've got a couple videos on that already that we've done in the past, but this one will be a little bit different as we'll be stitching some 325 cord down the middle of it. So for this project, you'll need some 550 cord. You'll need two pieces that are both 7 to 8 feet. And then for our 325, you'll only need about 3 to 4 feet of that one. I've got a black shackle that we'll be using today instead of our usual plastic buckle, and then a type 2 fid. That's the right size fid to fit on our 325 cord. So with that, let's get started. So to begin, we're going to take one of our pieces of cord and just find both ends of that, and we'll be putting them through this shackle in opposite directions. And on this particular shackle, this first hole is a little bit wider, so that's going to allow us to put 3 pieces of cord through. So these first two, we'll put one end through left to right, the other through right to left. And we're going to pull the cord all the way through on both sides until we have about a bracelet size left. Get all the twists out of there, otherwise that'll cause problems later. The overall length of this bracelet will need to be about 2 inches longer than your wrist size, so just keep that in mind as you're making it. I'm going to make sure that both of my ends are about the same length so that we're not wasting any cord. Once you have that about the right size for your wrist, we'll add that third cord through the shackle. So that's our second piece of 7 to 8 feet, and that's just going to go right above the other two. So if I turn it sideways, just force it right alongside those other 2 cords. Once you get that third cord through the shackle, we'll just set that off to the side above like this. And then we've got our loop for the middle of the bracelet and our 2 cords off to the side. So this first knot isn't going to be like the rest of them, so don't start repeating this one. We just need to anchor things in place before we begin. So we'll take that top cord and leave a loop, and then bring it down underneath, and pull it up through the middle of that bracelet, and then bring the end down through that loop. Pull that tight, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Leave a loop, up through the middle, down through that loop. So that's what it looks like once it's tightened down. At this point, we can just double check the size on our wrist or on a ruler, and then I'm going to be placing it on a jig just to keep things still while we're weaving for the video. Alright, so I got it set up on the jig now. Just got a little loop of cord to anchor it to the peg on the end. And now we'll start our repeating pattern. We've got our 2 bottom cords and our 2 upper cords just like before. We're going to take the right side cord, bring it over to the left, going up through the middle. So underneath this one, over this one. And the same thing for the other cord. Underneath that first center strand and over the top of that second one. We just want to leave some small loops like this. Then with our upper cords, they're going to be coming down and around, just like before. But then they're not going through the loop that we just made with that cord. They're going to go through this bottom loop. Like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Bring that cord underneath. Then up through that loop right there. Once you tighten that all down, it should look about like this. If that wasn't quite clear, you can check out one of our other videos on the Sanctified weave where we have 2 different colors. It makes it a little bit clearer. But for this, we just have that one. So one more time before we speed through the rest of the bracelet. We've got our bottom cords moving up through the middle on each side as they cross over. Make sure to leave those loops because those loops are the ones that we're going to be coming down through later. and our right side upper cord up through the middle of the bracelet again, and then down through that other loop. Again with the left side, and we'll tighten that down and speed through the rest. So when you have about this much left, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the jig. You can test it on your wrist once more, and if it is too short or too long, it can kind of change up how you do this end part with the shackle. So if it's too long, you can put it on with a cow hitch, if you have enough cord left to do that. And I do, there we go. And that'll shorten it up a bit because we've got that cow hitch taking some of the cord. But if your bracelet is too short, you can just link it through like this and finish it up with some more weave. So we'll test it out on my wrist. You do have these adjusters on the shackle side of things too, so keep that in mind. I'm comfortable with where that's at with just looping it through, so I'm going to keep it there and finish up the rest of this weave. You've got a loop about this size. If you did it like I did, you can stop there. It's just enough to get this through and for it to sit sideways. But we'll leave that off for now. We'll clip these ends and then move on to the stitching. To begin our stitching, we'll of course melt one end and thread that fit on. And I'm going to start up at this end with the receiving end of that shackle. And we'll just come up through the middle. On this end, I usually just melt a nice flat surface so it doesn't pull through. And then we pull that through until it's flush with the bracelet. So to get this pattern, we're essentially just going to go down 2 and back 1. You can kind of see where the gaps are through there. So we'll count down 2 and punch through right there. Pull all of our slack through. Then we want to come up to one side of it. So we'll go back 1 and come up on this left side here. Then we'll go down 2 more. And then we want to come up on the right side this time. So back 1, right there. And we'll just keep on going back and forth until we've filled in that whole zipper pattern. So down to back 1, and each time we switch sides. Then to finish that up, we can just do half of a link so that they end nice and even. I probably should have done that on this end too. Oh well. And then we'll clip the end just like we started the first end. So there is our stitched Sanctified bracelet. It was kind of fun to get back into making some paracord bracelets after all of our Christmas decorations in December. Let me know what you thought down in the comments and leave a like if you enjoyed this one. We'll put a link in the description to where you can find all the supplies used for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.